Hey guys, I'm back. So I thought I'd talk about today because the weather's getting a little bit better and it was a sunny day and I was reading through Psalms and I was like, let's talk about Psalm 84 because I've really grown to love this psalm, especially as I've gotten older. Um, and it's such an unlikely psalm, like okay, that sounds really weird, but like it's an unlikely psalm to you hear about a lot. Like everybody hears about Psalm 23, 119, the list goes on. But it caught me by surprise this morning when I was spending some time with the Lord. So I'm just going to read it. It goes, how lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord Almighty. I long, yes, I faint with longing to enter the courts of the Lord. I love that concept that you faint with longing to enter the courts of the Lord because the word court in our society is not taken as, oh yeah, I'm longing to go to court with the Lord. It's usually a negative connotation of like judgment or, um, a negative precedence around it. But the word court in Old English actually means palace or place where um, a sovereign person resides. Well, we serve a sovereign God. So that is where he resides, basically his home. With my whole being, body, and soul, I will shout joyfully to the living God. In the Bible, it talks about even the rocks cry out to God. So to think about saying, my whole being, my body, and soul will shout joyfully to the Lord. Praise goes first. I think that is so moving that right after longing to enter the courts of the Lord, that is when your whole being is, regardless, is going to be joyful towards the Lord. So verse 3 says, even the sparrow finds home there. Now think of a tiny little sparrow. They're a little bit bigger than a hummingbird. They're probably close to the size of a finch bird. Builds a home there. A swallow builds her nest and raises her young at a place near your altar. I love that analogy because birds are so flighty. They fly away, but they also are easily scared, and so they retreat. And so the safety feeling that this bird would raise its young there is a very big thing. Animals don't pick areas that are dangerous to have and raise their babies. They don't. Um, if you look at any kind of National Geographic or any kind of nature show, you'll see that they bury a nest deep down, high up, far away from harm. So to think, builds and raises their young right near your altar. That's a place of safety and security. How happy are those who can live in your house and always sing your praises? There's that correlation between court and houses. It's only like two verses away from each other, so that's super interesting. Happy are those who are strong in the Lord. Happy are those who are strong in the Lord. Joy and happiness are not the same thing. Happiness is a feeling. So you feel happy, you are feeling those who are strong in the Lord, who set their minds on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. So this correlation, the word Jerusalem also goes along with the word Zion, that they translate the same. The word Zion actually means homeland or home. So on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, on a pilgrimage to home. See, the joy of the Lord is my strength. That's in Nehemiah. It talks about how joy is a state of being. It is not a state, it is not a feeling. Joy is a sense of contentment, is usually a synonym to joy. But this word I really want to focus on the second part of verse 5 is they have set their minds on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. When you set your mind on something, that's it. That's the end. That's a wrap. That's literally what's going to happen. So when you're a believer and you've set your mind on a pilgrimage, that word pilgrimage just means long journey or a lifelong destination is another phrase that goes along with that word pilgrimage. to Jerusalem, to Zion, to the residing place of God. That is a faith walk. That is what it means to be a believer. You have set your mind towards God, towards the dwelling place of God. Now, this is my favorite verse. And I'm going to read it in two different translations because I like how it's worded. Right now I'm in the NLT, but it says, when they walk through the valley of the weeping, it will become a place of refreshing springs where pools of blessing collect after it rains. Rain actually means blessing, which is shocking living in the state that I do because it rains here all the time. It literally, well, that's why they say it's so green, but it rains here all the time. So you'd think we'd be more blessed here. Unfortunately, I live in one of the most unchurched areas of this country. But I love that it says, when you walk through the valley of the weeping, it will become a place of refreshing springs, where pools of blessing collect after it rains. After. That word after. You have to go through something to get through it. I know that sounds really cheesy and stupid, but it's true. You can't just like detour around something and expect to get over it because you've left it behind. You're still dealing with all of those things. Until you go through it, you're never going to see the blessing. There is a blessing, there's a lesson in the blessing. And it's all depending on how you want to do it. The other version of this, in my Passion Translation, is verse 6. Even when their paths wind through dark valleys of tears. How many people have whined through a dark valley of tears? I have many, many, many years. Many, many years of tears. They dig deep. You know what it is to dig deep for something? You know how it feels to, I don't know what my hair is doing over here, guys, sorry. Digging deep. God goes deep. We don't serve a shallow God. We serve a deep God. Somebody that really fully knows you through and through and wants all of you through and through. They dig deep to find a pleasant pool where others only find pain. Now, he gives them a brook of blessing filled from the rain of an outpouring. There's this song I really love. It's called Fresh Outpouring, and basically the verse is, we need a fresh outpouring. God will give you a fresh outpouring if you look for him beyond the rain. If you look for God beyond that storm, beyond that rain, it's like Elijah in 1 Kings. God wasn't in the fire and he wasn't in the storm. He's in a gentle whisper. If you look beyond your circumstance, beyond what you're going through, you're going to find those deep pools of blessing where other people are not because they don't know God. When you fully commit your life to Jesus Christ and know God, I mean, fully really know God, like not just walking up to somebody going, hey, you know who Jesus is? Yeah, I know who Jesus is. Oh, cool. And then stopping there. Okay, even the demons know who God is. Let's keep it real, people. Even the demons know who God is. The enemy knows this whole book through and through, backwards and forwards. How do you think he has created so many negative things? Cults. Even the enemies, the demons, the adversary, Satan, knows the whole Bible, knows who Jesus is. He knows who he is. I know of that guy. Does he have a relationship with him? No. And that's where you're going to see the difference. There's a difference between light and darkness. Both have similarities. Yeah, that sounds really weird for me to say that, but yeah, you know, you can light up darkness, you can extinguish light, you can do similar things with them, but they're not the same thing. They're very different things. Let me explain more. So verse 7 says, they grow stronger and stronger with every step forward, and the God of all gods will appear before them in Zion, which that correlation between that word Zion actually is Jerusalem. It's the translation between both. Hear my cry, O God of heaven's armies, God of Jacob, listening to my loving prayer. Now, going back to the NLT, verse 7 in that one, they will continue to grow stronger, and each of them will appear before the God in Jerusalem. There you go. Verse 9, O God, look with favor upon the king, our protector. Okay? So that means the person in charge. They are praying for their nation, is what this is. I don't even know what's on my arm right now. They are praying for their nation. We need to pray for our country. We need to pray for our country. We need to pray for, even if you're watching this in a different country, pray for where you are. Have mercy on the one you have anointed. That's very significant because I want to say it's 2 Corinthians 13, verse 1. It talks about, no, it might be Romans. Let's find out. I think it's 2 Corinthians. No, I was wrong. Glad I said something. Yeah, it's Romans 13, but it's verse 1. It talks about obey the laws of the land. The Lord has put the government that is in power at the moment, He's put it there for a purpose. But still pray for them. Pray for the people that are in power above you, whether it's, actually the government around you, or if it's your boss or your parents or whatever you're facing. Pray for those people. A single day in your courts is better than 1,000 anywhere else. A single day with God is better than 1,000 anywhere else. And that is so true. So true. I would rather be a gatekeeper in the house of my God than live a good life in the homes of the wicked. The wicked's homes are built on sand. God's homes are built on solid rock. Very, very different outcomes in those foundations. Something built on sand washes away. Why do you think those homes on beaches are built on high stilts or cinder blocks, or they're built a certain way to withstand storms? If you just built a little stick shack on the beach, some windstorm's going to come and blow it away. For the Lord God is our light and protector. He gives us grace and glory. No good thing will the Lord withhold from those who do what is right. And to do what is right, seek God. If you seek the Lord with prayer and supplication, He will show up for you. He will answer you. He will be there. My grandma's taught me that since I was so small. If you seek God, if you wait on the Lord, if you pray, the answer will come. But remember, God's timing is not our timing. We serve an on-time God, not our time. O Lord Almighty, happy are those who trust in you. There you go. That is Psalm 84. I thought I would read that because I think it's very evident to today, especially that verse, when they walk through the valley of the weeping, and it will become a place of refreshing springs where pools of blessing collect after it rains. The rain will end. How do you think we get a rainbow? God will never flood the earth again, and He will never flood the earth of your life. He won't. He will help you come out on the other side. But it's all about if you choose to take His hand or if you choose to just sit like a sad puppy in the rain. Sorry, there was no other good analogy to say that, but it's true. You have a choice. I hope you have the best week. Thanks for listening. I know that was kind of all over the place, but it was just on my heart this morning, and I just really found a lot of value in this psalm, especially in kind of what's going on right now in the world. Have the best week. See you next time.